we want to welcome you guys to the program. I would definitely want to thank Mentor and Angela for bringing you guys here. They actually went through a presentation as well. We talk about the importance of mentoring, but I think you guys already know about the importance of mentoring, right? Okay, all right. First I want to say I'd like to thank the organizations and the people who made this event possible. SBDC, TechCo, as well as Entrepreneur that we have here that will be speaking to you. These individuals volunteered their time and expertise to help to support this event. And so definitely, please take this time to give them a round of applause just for volunteering. Secondly, there's a great appreciation shown to you guys just for being here. So please give yourself a round of applause. The purpose of the Young Risers is to inspire students to become entrepreneurs. So let me ask you a question before we get started. What is an entrepreneur? Somebody got you. And again, the purpose is to inspire you guys. There's a lot of talent in this room, and we want to help you guys kind of cultivate those ideas so you won't leave here asking the question, well, what do I do next? Because you'll already have the information, and you'll know what you got to do next. Entrepreneurship is very important. It helps build leadership skills. Small businesses are the backbone of our economy. 80% of individuals reported, U.S. Census Bureau, United States Census Bureau already reported 80% of Americans own their own business. 88% of Americans are reported having their own businesses. And it's important because it helps in terms of growth of our community. And that's the other part of this program. We want you to not only think about businesses, but also put it into your community. And those things not only help your community develop and grow, they also help the world. Okay? With that being said, I'm going to turn it over to our first presenter, Ms. Melissa Dent, with the Capital Region Small Business Development Center.
Good morning, Young Risers.
Good morning. Good morning.
I am so impressed. I'm so impressed with some of the ideas that you all had. The dance studio. Who was that said they wanted to create their own games? That's awesome. How many of us spend a lot of money for video games? Wouldn't it be nice to be on the other side of that? We need to look at those types of things in terms of creating something for other people to buy versus us buying other people's products. Isn't that right?
Yes, it is.
So if you already know what you like, you already are good at playing games, you have some ideas about how to be able to do that. I heard another one. Where's the dance studio for inner city kids? Awesome. Let's give all of them a round of applause for their Well, just to tell you a little bit about myself, and I'll get into a little bit about what it takes to become an entrepreneur. How many of you have parents who are in business for themselves, or maybe have a little side business? Raise your hands. That's excellent. Okay, if not, you can be the first generation to be able to start your own business. I want you to understand that no matter what it is that you want to do, if you put your mind to it, you can make it happen. I grew up in Southeast Washington, D.C. I was born, bred, and buttered there. I went to all public schools, and I graduated, and I went on to college. However, I was the first in my family to be able to go to college. And what I want to explain to you is that even though I became an entrepreneur later, what was really important was that I learned some foundational things while I was growing up. And I grew up in an area that a lot of people didn't think that people who grew up in Anacostia, Southeast, had a lot to offer. But I had a single mom who stayed on me about studying and making sure that I was the type of person who did the right thing and went to school. So based on that foundation, that allowed me not only to be able to get my degree, but to become what we call a certified public accountant, and also to be able to start my own business. So I've actually owned a couple of different companies. I've owned an environmental products company. I've also been able to get involved with the telecommunications industry. So I want you to know that no matter where you grow up, no matter who you are, if you have a desire, you can make it happen. I want to thank Mr. Washington for inviting me, and I was just talking to one of your leaders who told me that your 4 foundational principles for the mentoring to manhood is team building, career planning, communication, and life skills. How many of you know you can go far? If you just master those 4 things, my God, you can go very, very far. Oh, yeah. So I'm excited about your being here today because you already have a very good foundation. for doing that. What we do with the Small Business Development Center is we help people start their own business, get a business plan, help them with identifying money. How many of you know it's very important to have some money to start your own business?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we also help with getting certifications and overall business coaching. And I was tasked with sharing with you what are the 7 stages of starting your own business. So everybody got their hats on? Everybody taking some notes? The first stage of your business is the seed or the pre-venture stage. That is when you have the idea. Some of you gave some ideas today. That means you're just thinking about it, you're not sure about it. So what do you do in this stage? Basically what you do is you shake the bushes, you do a lot of research. A lot of you know how to use a computer. Go on the computer, look at other companies, spy on them, go to their websites. For the young man who wanted to start a gaming company, look at other websites of other gaming companies, see what they're doing. Look to see what kind of prices they're charging. Look to see where they are located. And you start to get information about the idea. And as the idea becomes clearer to you and you know who your market is and you know what type of business you want to start, then you start writing what we call a business plan. When you write that business plan, then you're basically going to be in the startup stage and you're going to actually decide what type of company do I want to become? Do I want to be a sole proprietor? Or do I want to hook up with my friend over here and become a partner, have a partnership? Or do I want to have a corporation? Or we have some other things that they call like a limited liability company. So then you decide in that particular startup stage exactly what type of business you want to start. Now, if I had to give an analogy, when you're in the pre-venture stage, it's kind of like being an infant. You know, you kind of somebody has to feed you, someone has to make sure that your diaper's changed, you're still an infant. Okay, but once you get to the startup stage, you're a toddler. Meaning you're moving around, but you're still falling down, getting back up, you brush yourself off. So you're trying to figure out how the business works. Okay? The third stage is the growth stage. That's when you have your increased revenue, you're increasing your customers, you're increasing your profits, but that's also the point where your competition is going to start surfacing and giving you a little bit of competition for the dollar. So the young man who talked about starting your gaming company, once somebody sees your game, let's say you create an original game. Okay, I'll give you an example. Anybody here have an iPad? Are there some other companies that have a product similar to iPad?
Samsung.
What is it?
Samsung.
Samsung. Anybody else?
Amazon.
Amazon. What's another one? Kindle.
Oh, next.
See? So what happened? Apple came out with the iPad, but guess what? Other companies start saying, hey, this is a great idea. Let us create something that's similar. So that is when you're in the growth stage, but the chances are when you're in the growth stage that other people are going to see you have a good idea, they're going to try to copy it. Now, does anybody know where you can actually get to protect your idea?
Copyright.
A copyright.
Very good. And what else? A patent. Very, very good. So if you come up with an idea, one of the things you want to do in that pre-venture stage is maybe get a provisional patent on your idea so nobody can steal it and take away all the money that you would have made. The fourth stage of starting your own of a life cycle is you're going to have a very established business. So now that you've gone through the pre-venture or the seed stage and you've gotten to the startup stage and you've gotten to the growth stage, which is like adolescent or preteen, now you've taken care of the business, it's growing very, very fast, it's moving very, very fast. The next one, number 4, is an established business. So now you have manageable growth. And the business is kind of routine. You figured it out. You know what advertising works. You know who your target market is. If you came up with that gaming company, you know exactly where to distribute it. So you know who's going to buy it. Where's the best place to put it? Where's the best shelf to place it on? Okay, so that they will buy your product. The 5th area is expansion. Now you are pursuing new markets, new distribution channels, and you're going to gain a larger market share. Let me give you an example of one of our entertainers that you'll be familiar with, Jay-Z. Jay-Z started off with a little, I understand he used to have a book that he carried around and wrote down all his notes in terms of the songs that he was going to sing. Anybody ever heard Jay-Z's story? Okay, so he wrote down all the song, all the words to the songs, and he started practicing. Next thing you know, he came up with a little demo tape. Then he started selling them out the trunk of his car. How many of you know he wasn't making a lot of money in the beginning?
Right. Yeah, everybody.
But let me tell you what's more important than making money and starting your own business. It's called passion. You have to be excited about it. You have to want to do it whether or not you get paid for it. If you can find something that you love to do, and you can do it whether or not you get paid for it, you have a chance to being a successful entrepreneur. So he was excited about that. Now, once he got started, he became an established artist. Now everybody knew who he was. He became what we call a brand. Okay, so he had his own brand. Whenever somebody says Jay-Z, you know who he is, don't you? P. Diddy, same thing. But here is where expansion came in. They decided, I want to pursue a new market. I'm going to create a clothing line. I'm going to create some other products that other people want to buy. So they expanded their business. So not only did they make money in the music industry, they decided, hey, I'm going to expand to a new market. I'm going to get over here in retail. So that's the phase that's called expansion. The sixth stage is called maturity. Now your sales have leveled off. So if you can imagine, here's the growth curve. It kind of starts like this, early pre-venture, early stage, and you get the growth. Then you start kind of leveling off. And if you're not careful, you can start declining. Because if you don't do new things, if you don't stay up with the times, guess what? You'll start losing money and you'll go into decline. But what happens is while you're expanding your business, you can make a decision to sell your business when you're expanding. Because when you're making a lot of money, how many of you know people may want to buy your company? Okay? And we have billionaires today. They became not just millionaires, but billionaires because they had an idea, they built their business, and while it was growing, they decided, hey, I'm going to sell it. Now, if somebody buys that business, it can continue to grow even further. But if you don't do anything, it can start to decline. And then you will have to have what we call an exit strategy. So we have, what's number one? Anybody remember the first stage? Seed or pre-venture. Excellent. Second? Startup. Absolutely. Third? Growth stage. Excellent. Number four? An established business. Number five? Expansion. Number six? Maturity. Excellent. And number seven is either decline or exit. So here's the point. And this is a point in life. If you are not changing and growing, you are dying. There's no such thing as staying the same. As a matter of fact, there's a sea over in Israel. They call it the Dead Sea. You know why they call it the Dead Sea? Because there's no new water coming in, there's no inflow, and there's no outflow. As a matter of fact, it's called the Dead Sea because there's so much salt in the Dead Sea that if you get in the Dead Sea, you will just float to the top. You don't even have to know how to swim. That's how much salt is in it. And nobody can drink it. There's no life in it. There's no fish in it. Nothing. It's dead. So if you're not continuing to grow, I have a little saying, stay green because when you get ripe, you rot. So that means you always have to continue to learn. You have to continue to grow. Stay green. Okay? Readers are leaders. So if you want to be a leader, you're going to have to read. You're going to have to stay on top of what's going on. So let's talk about this decline phase. Many companies didn't change or haven't changed technologically with the dot-com era. Not realizing, is something very important, that people will visit your website 5 times before they will even pick up the phone to call you. Whoa. So if you have a Yabba Dabba Doo website, a Flintstone Mickey Mouse website, and you're trying to go into business today, chances are you're not going to do very well. As a matter of fact, your website is like, if you look at a wheel, it's the spoke, it's the middle of that wheel. And all the other spokes coming off of that wheel are the other advertising. So you have the website right in the middle, then you may have direct mail, you may have television ads, you may have radio ads. But if you don't have a tight website, you can hang it up. You're not in business. Okay, how many times will they visit your website before they call you? 5 times, so you got to have a great website. Okay, so since many of you are in that, what I call pre-venture stage, I'd like to expand upon that for a few minutes, because you all are right now in the pre-venture stage, not only for life, but if you want to go into business. What do I mean by that? Everything that you are doing right now, your education, in and out of the classroom, pursuing it with excellence, pursuing it with discipline, perseverance, and leadership, becoming a part of the Young Risers, sitting in a library on a Saturday morning, listening to how to become an entrepreneur. You all are so awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. I am so excited that you are doing what it takes to be a leader. This is the kind of stuff we do to become a leader. Now, here are 3 points I want you to remember that are going to build the foundation of your pre-venture phase to ensure your business success should you decide to become an entrepreneur. Everybody listening? PCV. Repeat, PCV. What is the P? The P is purpose. What does that mean? Who am I? You have to discover, who are you? Who are you really? Why are you here? And understand that it's not about you, it's about you becoming a servant. It's about you helping others. I love what I heard. You talked about community involvement, giving back to the community. That's what it means to be a success. So the first thing you need to know is what your purpose is. Who are you? Why are you here? And understand that it's not about you. You also understand that you have to find out what you want to do, whether or not you get paid for it. Because that's going to give you confidence. Because here's the key. Once you know your purpose, nobody can make you feel inferior without your permission. Because you're going to have the confidence to do whatever it is you want to do in life. What's the next letter? C. C is for character. You have to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. I mean, you have to be around the right group of people. You got to make sure you're going to stay successful. There are some people who are very successful today who stayed around the wrong people. And guess what? They ended up, their careers got stalled. Can anybody give me an example just in the sporting industry? Yes, sir.
Neil Armstrong.
Tell me about Neil Armstrong.
He won the biker championships, but they just found out he took steroids to win it.
Very good. Lance Armstrong. You were close. We knew who you were talking about there. That's okay. Anybody else have an example? Very good. Very good. Yes.
Michael Vick.
Michael Vick. Come on. Tell us about Michael Vick. What happened?
He was hanging around the wrong crowd of people when he got into dogfighting and stuff. And they took out a couple of years, 5 years, I think, out of his career.
And I tell you, he could have been over, but somebody gave him another chance. And he was lucky, right? I saw another hand over here. Did I see another hand? But you gave some great examples. So number 2 is character. Stand for something, because you can have talent, you can have skills, you can get good grades, but if you don't have character, the talent can get you there, but the character is what's going to keep you there. What's the P? What's the C? Character. Very good. So, character means that you're developing integrity. You're going to be who you say you are. You're going to do what you say you will do. You're going to stand for what you believe in. If you can't make it, if you tell somebody you're showing up and you can't show up, what are you going to do? Make a phone call. If you're going to be late, what are you going to do?
Call ahead.
Call ahead. That's right. That's called integrity. That's called character. Because you know what? If you want to become a business person, people buy you. They buy you. They don't care how great, you know what, even if they get past your website, if your website looks good, after they get in touch with you, you need to be able to do what you say you're going to do. And if they like you, they will buy from you and they will keep buying from you. Then you have to stand for what you believe in. And understand this, that when you stand for what you believe in, people may not like it, but they will respect you. And it's not always about people liking you. It's more important, especially on a job, especially in school, especially in business. It's okay if people like you, but you also want them to do what? Respect you because of who you are. The third thing was the V, vision. And I'm going to end with this. Write it down, make it plain, and run with it. Okay? Whatever your vision is, write it down, make it plain, so you can run with it. So, As you go through the foundational stages of your pre-venture, of the seed planning, of developing this foundation that you have, you will be on your way to business success. Thank you very much.
Round of applause. The other thing that I think is very important, and we'll need 2 students to kind of demonstrate this. Maybe 2 volunteers. Come on. Come on.
Yeah. Don't miss your moment.
Leadership. Yeah.
All right.
Don't miss your moment. Who's in my car? Come on.
Well, give me another.
Don't miss your moment.
Okay, cool. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Turn face, everybody. The biggest thing that I think we need to talk about, definitely that needs to be said, is networking.
Network is like something that you can use to find data, or something that you need to do or use for homework to find evidence, or something that you need to find answers to.
The logical answer. I like that. But networking involves what?
Kind of like an organization.
Speaking, having a pitch, having, just like what Lucy was saying, how do you get your product out if you're not networking?
How do you get your product out if you're not networking? So, simple example. You own a business. What's the name of your business?
Just make up one.
Drumming World, I guess.
Drumming World.
He's interested in drumming world. What pitch do you sell to him to get him interested in your business?
Different sounds in the drum.
Tell me him to tell. What do you tell him? I'm going to hold this quick.
I guess there's different sounds in drumming. I guess.
Are you sold?
No.
What do you say? Well, you hold the mic. What do you hold the mic. You hold the mic. What are you going to say? What are you going to say to him to get him interested
In drumming world.
First, you're going to put the mic up.
Yeah, you're right.
If you do a good job with drums, you get it for free.
Are you sold? Kinda. Well, tell them more. Tell them more about the free.
You can also get.
Oh man, he giving up. Oh, man. Drumming world just went out of business. Selling everything. But because you can sit down. Devin, who else want to try? One more round, then we're going to move on to our next presenter. Who's going to give you the keys to success? I'm sure she's going to talk about networking as well, right? Because she's big in terms of social media. Who wants to be next? Step up. Oh, everybody shy. Oh, come on, don't be shy. Come on, there we go. There we go.
There we go.
It's important you take away from this that in terms of network, because how you present yourself, it represents your business. Whether people are going to buy it or not. Because Toys R Us, everybody knows about Toys R Us, right?
Yeah.
What makes Toys R Us exciting?
What makes it exciting? Even if you were a kid, what made it exciting?
They got a lot of toys and the way the store is set up.
Right. Appeal.
Appeal. What else?
Just having stuff that you like.
Okay.
Having stuff that you like. What else?
Yeah. Go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The commercials and advertising.
Yeah.
The commercials and advertising. What about them?
They just catch my eye, like the way they just put their product out there, and the way they explain to you how to get a deal and all that you get on their money's worth it. Pretty much.
What else? You just know about Toys R Us. How does that happen? Yes, all those things you guys said make that appealing, as well as their sales. They have sales, don't they? Discounts. So let's try it one more time. All right, so what business are we working with? Give us an idea. What business are you going to give us?
A car manufacturer.
Oh, car manufacturer. Oh, awesome. All right. So you're going to be that customer. He's trying to buy a car. All right?
Wait, let it go.
So if you're my customer, I would show you the car that you would pick out. And if you didn't like the car, you still have to pay the price for the car, sticker car. I wouldn't let you do it for free. But I would give you 3 months with no payments, but you only have to pay your insurance and stuff and gas. I would give you 3 months of you not paying your bill every month for you to keep the car, and I'll let you drive that car. And if you don't like it, you can return it.
Is this a contract or a business? How would you make it exciting for him? Because he's trying to buy a car. How would you make it exciting for him?
He would probably get more standard features than other cars. He would probably get more standard features, and the car would probably be safer than other models.
Okay.
Very good.
He said probably would be. He said probably. But we can't guarantee anything.
Are you sure?
Oh. He's standing behind his brother.
Yes, he does.
What else could you tell him that's going to make him more excited about buying that car?
It would probably have an engine that you would have to have an option for. You could get that engine.
Okay.
What else would you like in the car?
I'll give it to you. I'll make it.
You talking about engine? What's the king?
Rihanna's gonna be in this car. How about that?
What I can have for but you probably get standard features like you won't have to pay for navigation.
Okay.
You probably wouldn't have to pay for like parking sensors if you camera, access save radio, all of that stuff that people like, but have to pay options for. You probably it will be safer. It's still probably bigger than other models.
Okay.
And it will be pimping in the neighborhood.
Okay.
I probably stand out from the crowd.
Okay. All right.
All right, cool. Good job.
Excellent.
Good man. Good man. So, I mean, you get an idea about networking. It's you going out there and selling your product. You sell it. No one else but you. And once you build a brand, because people get familiar with it, they converge with it. Like Young Risers. Easy name, right?
Right.
Because what do you think of you heard about Young Risers?
Helping kids grow.
Kids grow. What do you think? Exactly what he said? Okay. Word for word. What do you think when you say Young and Rising? Young and Rising. You think about young people on a company, right? Yeah. So think about that. Work on that. I mean, if you do have a business plan, and most of you, well, business idea, most of you say you have a business idea, work on the network. How you going to get it out there? That's the biggest part of it is advertising. That's the biggest thing. Go ahead.
Have my own website.
That's how.
I said I have my own website.